Hey viewers, when I got this bike, it was in really rough shape. It had been abused, left outside for years, and so I've been working on cleaning it up, but I have not done the forks yet. There's SR Suntour XCC forks. They move, but I don't know the condition on the inside. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take them apart, clean them, lube them, put them all back together. I'm going to show you the help process today. I'm going to start off by removing the front wheel. And then I need to remove the brakes here, get those out of the way. So now I want to remove these adjuster caps here, and I have a Suntour adjuster cap tool that I got like from the local bike shop, but you can get some of these like off of eBay or Amazon or variations. There's like third-party ones that you can find, and so I'm going to use this to unscrew the adjuster cap, and it's just going to unscrew counterclockwise. Okay, so there's one cap out, and it came out with a spring. I'll do this one. And this one also came out with a spring. So now I'm ready to remove the lowers. To do this, down inside of each of the tubes at the bottom, there's a 5mm bolt that I need to remove. It's in a recessed hole deep down in there. So normally I would use like an extra long hex socket extension to reach down and through that hole into the bolt. Unfortunately, this is not long enough. This is about 5-inch blade length, and it won't reach through the hole down and hit the bolt. So I had to make a new tool, an extra long socket extension. So this one has about almost a 7-inch blade length, so that can reach down into that hole, hit that bolt, and unscrew it. I made a video of making this tool, and I'll include a link in the description. So what I'm gonna do is put this onto my wrench here. So I'm gonna reach down there, get through the hole, get it engaged with the bolt, get my wrench on here, and then unscrew this bolt. Once I got it broken loose, I could probably just manually turn this thing here to get it unscrewed. And when it feels pretty loose, then it's probably loose in there. And then do this side here. Okay, so that one feels like it's probably unscrewed. Let's see if we can slide these off. And got them off. And then this boot here, I'm gonna slide this off here. So now I'm ready to push these little plungers up and out here. Like this. So these are the parts that I pulled out of there. To show why I needed the extra long hex socket is I had to go down through these small holes in the top, go down and reach this bolt down in the bottom. So this is the one that I had in my kit. It's got about a 5-inch blade length. If I put this on here, it's just too short to reach that bolt. You know, so it just goes there and was just turned because it can't reach that bolt down there. So this is the one that I made. It's longer. It can go down and reach that bolt, go down through there and hit that bolt and unscrew it down there. Now, some people have, suggested that I could have used like an extra extension. It wouldn't have made any difference. I had to go down through this small hole there. That's why I needed a longer shaft hex socket. And so I made one, and that solved the problem. Okay, well, I have the fork taken apart. There's actually not a lot to it. It's basically just springs, a damper on one side. The parts are kind of dirty. There's some dirt on here. There's a little bit of rust over on this one, but I think I can clean this off and soak in a vapor rust, clean that off, see what it looks like, but I think it'll be okay. But I'm gonna scrub everything down with soap and water and a scrub brush, and then get ready to put it back together again. I finished cleaning up these parts. Like I said, I just used warm water, just soap and scrub brushes, and they cleaned up really nice. This part, after kind of cleaning all the grease and stuff off of there, I soaked it in a vapor rust like overnight, scrubbing on it occasionally with a wire brush. The rust was just kind of on the surface, so it's a bit rough, but the piece is still solid, so it'll work fine. So now I'm ready to start putting this stuff all back together again. And as always, if you're going to be working on suspension forks, use a grease made for suspension forks like Slickoleum, also known as Slick Honey. You can use Judy Butter. I use the Slickoleum, it's a little cheaper. But if you don't use the right grease, it can damage the forks or you're not going to get optimum performance. So anyway, I'm going to use a little bit of this, and I'm going to coat these plungers here just with a thin coating of grease. And then the next thing is these little parts here. I'm going to slide these on here. You want the flat side facing down. And then I'm going to slide on these little rubber bushings below those. Like this. And then I can put a little bit of grease onto these as well. Like that. And then take the screws and drop the screw down in there on each one. I may have to push them all the way down through so they fall through there. There we go. And so now I'm ready to drop these down into the uppers, and you can kind of tap them down so that they fall through. If they don't fall through, like that. And then I'm going to take these rubber boots here, and I'm going to slide these up the uppers, and I clean these up pretty well as well. And you want this kind of wide open part facing down. And put those all the way to the top like that. And so there was these dust seals. These were kind of on the top of the lowers. I kind of popped them off. Actually, one was still on there. One had come off with the boot, but I popped the other one off and cleaned those up. I'm going to slide these up into place for right now. Just like this. And then I'm going to put a thin coating of grease on these upper tubes here. And so now I put just a little bit of a blue thread locker onto the threads of these screws down here, just like that. And now I want to put a little bit of grease on the bushings in the lowers here. There's a bushing at the top here, and then maybe about 3-4 inches down, there's another bushing down there. So I can easily reach the top one just with my finger and just put a coating of grease around the bushing there. And the lower one's a little hard to reach, so I'm just going to use, put a little bit of grease onto a wooden stick and rub it around down in there. If you look down in the fork, you can see the bushing down there. And so now I'm ready to slide the lowers on. I want to make sure that the brake posts are facing forward. And then I'll slide these up into position and just slide them up. And so now I want to tighten those bolts down into the bottom of the lowers there. So I have my 5mm extra long hex socket there on my extension. And so I'll reach this down in there, try to get that screw engaged, and then start tightening it in. And it feels like I got it. So use my wrench here. And tighten it there. Okay, got one. And do this side. Okay, start by hand first till I start feeling tension. And then pull that out. So now I want to install the stacks. Before I do that, I'm going to push these down so they're at the bottomed out. And then I want to put some grease on the stack, kind of rub them around down there and kind of on the spring, get into the damper on the inside there. And the stack with the damper went on the non-drive side, so I'm going to stay with that. So I noticed down in the lower that there was something a little bit different down there on this side than it was on the other side. So I'm going to go ahead and screw this in by hand to begin with. Make sure that it's not cross-threaded. And then use the little adapter or the cap tool here, kind of tighten that down, but it doesn't need to be super tight because you want to strip out those threads. And then I have the spring from the other side here, kind of rub this around a little bit grease on this side. And then get this down in there and screw it in. Then use the cap tool here, tighten this on. Like that. And then this dust seal here, it's going to snap onto the top of the lower there. Just going to push it around so it snaps into place, and then push the boot down over that. It should kind of lock into place over the dust seal. Kind of like that. And same thing on this side. Get the dust seal snapped along the top of the lower there. Kind of work it around. And then push the boot down over the dust seal. Like that. And then I want to remount the brakes. I gotta get this pin down this little hole down here. Same thing on this side, get the pin in the hole. Remount the front wheel. And done. And they definitely feel better, more responsive down there, but they're definitely cleaner, better lubed in there. So that is how to take apart, clean, lube, and reassemble these SR Suntour XCC forks. What do you guys think? So let me know down in the comments. Hopefully you found this video useful or interesting. If you did, please give my video a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to my channel, click that subscribe button down there. Be sure to click the bell so you get notified when new videos come out. I'm over on Facebook, RJ the Bike Guy. Go over there, like that page. I post a lot of stuff over there. Anyway, thank you guys very much for watching.